Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. And today, I want to give you guys a bit of an update when it comes to the James Bond box office. So, if you remember, I did a video where I talked about the box office for not just James Bond. I talked about the box office for Dune. I talked about the box office for Venom and how those movies, in my opinion, performed a hell of a lot better than Shang-Chi. And I knew the second this news came out that I would probably get at least one person coming after me telling me that, haha, look at you, look at you, I bet you look stupid now, don't you? See, the thing is, those people usually never bother to actually do their research. All they do is take a look at one headline and they think all of a sudden they know everything. They never bother to actually either read the article. They never bother to do their own research. All they do is look at the title of the article and they think, well, I mean that's it, right? No, because if you actually choose to look into it, you realize this news isn't as bad as they're making it out to be. Let me explain. So, what happened? So, No Time to Die has officially come out in the United States, and the box office that it garnered over the weekend was lower than what they expected. People, quote unquote, experts, came out and said that they expected this movie to make somewhere between 84 million. Some of them said 64 million. It came out to 56 million, and people looked at that number and thought, "Oh my God! Well, that means it's awful, right?" Again, no. If you choose to do your research, you realize that things aren't as bad as some people are trying to make it out to be. So let's actually take a look at the box office, shall we? So you can see No Time to Die right here domestically made $56 million, dollars, a little over $56 million. Dollars. But if you look at the international box office, it made over $257 million, dollars, a total as of now of $313 million dollars worldwide. Now, again, people looked at the domestic box office and thought, oh my God, well, that means this is a bad thing. No, it's not a bad thing because, again, if you choose to do your research, you will know that this is actually kind of par for the course. Let me explain. Let's look at Casino Royale. Okay, the very first movie in the Daniel Craig era of the James Bond franchise. Okay, let's look at Casino Royale. Casino Royale domestically made $167 million, but internationally it made $427 million to a total of $594,420,283, not counting the home market performance that you can see right there. So you can see internationally it performed a lot better than domestically. Let's go to Skyfall. Skyfall domestically $304 million, internationally $806 million, over $806 million, excuse me, to a total of over $1.1 billion. Let's look at Spectre. Domestically $200 million, internationally $679 million, excuse me, again, over $679 million. So this is par for the course. This is normal. The James Bond movies always perform better internationally as opposed to domestically. That's always been the case. Now you can see from Skyfall to Spectre there was a bit of a dip because Skyfall totally made $1.1 billion and Spectre made 879 over $879 million. So there was a dip in the box office from Skyfall to Spectre. Now personally I think that when it comes to Spectre, word of mouth started to spread, and maybe people were just not as into Spectre as they were Skyfall. And when it comes to No Time to Die, so I want to talk about the domestic box office. What do I think happened and why this performed uh, not as well as, let's say, Casino Royale did on its opening weekend, which let's take a look at it for a second. So, opening weekend, look at this. Spectre actually, excuse me, Casino Royale made $40 million. dollars. Now, that's excusable because it is the first movie in the Daniel Craig era of Bond. So, maybe people weren't as sure of the movie, so maybe they didn't go opening weekend. I know, if you remember, there were a lot of people who were raising a bit of a stink when it comes to Daniel Craig playing Bond. But if you go to Skyfall, let's take a look at the opening weekend. It made $88 million. And then let's go to Spectre. Let's go to Spectre. Opening weekend, $70 million. So there was a bit of a dip from 88 to 70. So This is pretty normal. Okay, people saw Casino Royale, people loved it. More people went to go see Skyfall, but then not as many people went to go see Spectre. So yes, No Time to Die did make less than Spectre and Skyfall opening weekend, but it still made more than Casino Royale. Now Casino Royale, again, we can excuse it because it was the, like I said, the first movie in the Daniel Craig era of Bond. So, what do I think happened? What do I think happened here with Skyfall, or excuse me, No Time to Die? Well, I have some reasons. So, I saw the movie, and I initially planned to make a video review, but I think I'm gonna save that for my upcoming live stream where I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts. So, what did I think of the movie? I actually liked the movie. I'm not gonna lie. I thought the movie was good, and I think what really killed this movie, at least domestically in the box office, was the marketing. Everyone who was in charge of the marketing for this movie needs to be fired because they vastly, completely undersold the movie. The movie is not, or not undersold. They lied about what the movie is. They outright lied, and I think that that's what mainly hurt the movie because people saw the marketing. People thought, oh God, this is going to be another one of those movies. So they thought, you know what, I'm just not even going to go see it. What I think might happen now, this is my prediction. I could be wrong. Keep in mind, this is a prediction. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. Like, I know for a fact this is going to happen. This is just what I predict is going to happen. I think that what's going to happen is, as more people see the movie, word of mouth is going to start to spread that this movie is not what the marketing made it out to be, and more people are going to see it, at least domestically, and it'll raise the box office. Now, I don't think it's going to raise it by much because as with every single movie, especially big blockbuster movies, I think that uh, like the numbers are going to dip. That's pretty much again par for the course. That happens with every Marvel movie, Star Wars, whatever big blockbuster movie you can think of. It happens from first weekend to second weekend. There's always a drop. So, but I think that it's going to have some pretty good legs because word of mouth is going to start to spread that this movie isn't as bad as the marketing made it out to be. However, what I think might still put a hindrance on the performance and why I don't think this movie is going to perform as well is because, as well as it could have, is because since this movie was released internationally and because we're living in the era of the internet, people, of course, spoiled what happened at the end. Now, I'm not going to say it here, but if you've been on the internet, odds are you probably already know what happens at the end of this movie. And I think that it came out what happened, and people probably thought, okay, well, even if the movie's good, I just don't want to see that. Like, I'm not interested in actually having that in my brain. Like, I'm not interested. So I think that those people are still not going to go see the movie, even if they hear the movie overall is actually not bad, even though it does have some flaws. So, just before we go, I've already compared it to the previous Bond era movies or the previous Daniel Craig Bond movies, but let's go ahead and compare it to a movie like Venom. Because that's a movie that's also being compared to James Bond and saying that why this movie isn't doing as well as people are making it out to be. Let's look at Venom, okay? Venom domestically made $141 million. And remember, Venom came out before Bond, if I remember correctly, in the US. A little before Bond came out. And by now it's made $141 million. Now Bond No Time to Die only made 56. Now yeah, that's bad. But if you look internationally Venom only made $43 million, whereas No Time to Die made over $257 million. That is an insane amount of money, and there wasn't really all that much of a gap between Bond in the international market and Venom in the international market. There was only about a week between the two, and yet even with that time, like they by now, if you think about it, if this movie was really big, then it would have already caught up by now. And yet Bond, with just a week, made $257 million, and Venom only made $43 million. So it beat it at the domestic box office, but not in the international box office. Because, like I said, more people, Bond is loved more internationally as opposed to domestically in the United States. Again, this is par for the course. And I know some people are probably saying that, oh, this means Shang-Chi is better, right? No, no, not even close. Again, look at this. It's only been out for a week. Over $257 million. Shang-Chi has been out for over, look at this, has been out for 38 days. And it's only made $189.1 million internationally. 38 days, this is how much it made. 1 week, a little over a week, 257 million. It already beat Shang-Chi by a mile. So, yes, domestically, Shang-Chi did better, but like I said, Marvel movies tend to do better domestic. Well, actually, when it comes to Marvel movies, it's usually half and half when it comes to domestic and international. But you can't really compare it to Bond because Bond, like I said, does better internationally as opposed to domestically, as proven by Casino Royale, Skyfall, Spectre. This is par for the course. And Venom, you could say, does the audience for Venom does skew a little bit younger, and people have tried to make the excuse that Bond, the reason why Bond didn't perform as well, is because it's more skewed towards an older male audience, whereas Venom and Shang-Chi are skewed more towards the younger audience, and they say because it's an older audience, older people are afraid because of the pandemic. I think that is complete bullshit. I don't think that that's the case. I think, like I said, what really killed the marketing for No Time to Die, at least domestically, is people heard the marketing for the movie. They saw the marketing, and I think that they did not go opening weekend. I think that that's what really killed the movie. I think it's the same place. It's the same situation as, what was it? Birds of Prey. I heard that Birds of Prey was a pretty average movie, and it wasn't what the marketing made it out to be. But that movie bombed at the box office because of the marketing. And I think that's what's happening here with No Time to Die. But again, I would like to point out that this movie is not doing as bad as some of the articles are trying to make it out to be. Again, this has only been out for a little over a week. You could say worldwide, it's only been out for a little over a week, and yet it's already made $313 million. You look at a movie like Shang-Chi, only just now barely crossed 400 million, and it's been out, like I said, for 38 days. I have a feeling No Time to Die is going to beat it by its second week, or at the very least in the second week, it's going to get really, really close to Shang-Chi in the box office. Now, I don't know how it's going to perform against Venom, but we'll have to wait and see, because from what I heard, most of the people who saw Venom, and I will see it because someone did ask me to review it, and I will do that. I'm waiting for it to just be available here where I am. From what I can understand, Venom, I heard most people say that if you like the first Venom, you're going to like the second one, which I feel like that kind of already tells me how I'm going to feel about the movie, because I actually wasn't a big fan of the first Venom movie. But who knows, maybe I'll like this more than the first one. I am going to see it, and I am going to do a review here on this channel. So with that being said, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think of the box office? How do you think Bond is going to perform over time? Do you think the marketing for the movie is what really killed its performance in the opening weekend? Or do you think that people are going to hear that this movie is not as bad as the marketing made it out to be, and maybe they'll actually go check it out? Or do you think they won't check it out either way because of what happens in the end, if you know what happens in the end, which please do not spoil it in the comment section for anyone who hasn't seen the movie yet. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Again, hope you enjoyed the vid. Do the YouTube stuff. Bye for now.